How you doing today, guys? Let's get a look at this new to me Microtech Ultratech, considered by many to be the starter out the front knife. You know, this is kind of to dip your feet in the water, dip your toes in the water, and see if you're interested in these. They're not terribly expensive, but they're not cheap either, coming in at around $230 new for this particular style here, where you have the flat aluminum handle that is 6061 T6 aluminum on the frame here, and then it's been anodized. And the cool thing about these knives is you could find them anodized in a bunch of different colors. They come in orange, green, obviously blue, tan. They have like a zombie where it's like neon yellow, neon greenish, and then splattered with like blood, like the zombie red blood. They have them in purple. Then you can get them in the black blades. You can get them in the blasted blades. All different kinds of edge configurations, tan, toe, drop point. Let's fire this bad boy so I can keep on talking about it. This is one of the coolest parts of the Ultratech line and a lot of Microtechs. The trigger is kind of, you know, it's not for somebody with weak thumbs. They're very stiff, but they do fire very hard. And you can see it's a double action knife. Push the front, comes out, and it comes back. Double action, so it's action. It goes out and back. That just means double action. So they come, this particular one is blasted. So they come blasted. You can get them in like a DLC coated blade. Fit and finish, are we ready to go there yet? I don't know, it's alright. Keep in mind they're $230, so it's not a cheap knife, you know, and if you're new to collecting knives, that might be very ridiculous sounding. There is a lot of stuff going on inside here, so it's a pretty complicated knife. It is made pretty well. Can you hear that? The cicadas are screaming, but maybe you can hear them. So a little bit of up and down play, a little bit of side to side. You know, you have to have that in a out the front automatic, from my experience. I've never felt one that was really tighter than that. But I haven't handled any of the customs either. There is some real cool custom, not even manufactured by Microtech. Just search around, Google custom out the front automatic knife, and you'll see some real cool ones. Now they're super expensive, so that's why it puts it in perspective. It's $230, that much? I don't know, it depends on how much money that is to you and what your value scale is. You know, they're really, at least in my case, in my use, they're just toys. They're novelties, you know? It's cool. I carry it around the house some. I have carried it out in public, don't tell nobody. You know, it's cool. Do I think it's an effective self-defense knife? Probably not. This certainly would, once it's been deployed. Would certainly do the job, right? This double edge. I did have to resharpen it. It was pretty dull. But that's what it is. It's mostly a self-defense knife. There's no real practicality in trying to EDC something like this. For one, when you start cutting and you get junk and tape all over the blade, at least if you use your EDC knives like I do, you know, they may not get wiped off after every time you cut something. Maybe food, you just take a napkin and wipe them off, but there might still be some stuff on there, or some tape residue. And as soon as you retract that back in, it starts gunking up the action. You know, you're asking for trouble. So in my personal opinion, no, not an EDC knife at all. Something for fun, something you're going to the movies with your wife, and you want to carry something fun, maybe something that could help you tactically. Although still probably not. Because, man, imagine this sucker being in court evidence even if someone tried to mug you. It would look like you brought this out looking for trouble that night. Probably not a smart idea, right? That's why I say, in my case, I am not military. Just pure novelty. And I'm okay with that. Nothing wrong with that. I have enough knives that are EDC knives. You know, but can I tell you it's worth it? You know, it depends on you. You know if it's worth it or not. You can see I have been carrying it a little bit. It did not come to me with these scratches on it here. I don't plan on getting rid of it. I've owned a few of these Ultratechs in the past, and I always kind of regret getting rid of them. Not that I want a collection of them, but I think one as a knife nut, as a toy, as something to just play with every now and then, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I do want to point out a few things to you. If you did try to use this knife, I don't know why you would, but if you tried to use it like in an EDC and you gunked up the inside, you can take these screws out. You just have to buy their proprietary tri-wing bit. And of course you will void your warranty. I have no experience with Microtech's warranty, but I've heard they take a long time and are terrible with communication. But I heard the same thing about Strider's warranty, and I had zero problems. So I can't weigh in on that. You know, if any of you guys have experience with Microtech's warranty service, please post below, good or bad. You know, this is what YouTube's about, sharing our experiences, learning together, entertainment, of course. You know, maybe you're interested in buying this knife, maybe not. Maybe you're just checking out the fit and finish here. I'm showing you the ramped switch here. Really done well. I like how they have the larger steps here and it comes up to the smaller steps. Gets a little more grippy up here, and it's grippy going forward and backwards. And it's not just cut in a straight line. It's actually curved a little bit because your thumb's curved to get maximum contact with your finger. And I think it's really safe. Look how far this button can come forward. And you can see my thumb's getting a little white. Maybe you can see it. That's not easy. There are some full-grown men who will not be able to deploy this knife and retract it. I've seen it. I passed this knife around at a little get-together we had at the house here. Showed some buddies at work. You know, it's a cool knife. Fit and finish is pretty good. I think it could be better in some areas. You can see you do have a lanyard spot right there. I don't know what to call it. A lanyard pin, lanyard tab. Pretty much useless though. It's so small. And I don't know why you'd ever want a lanyard poking out, if this was in your pocket, poking out towards your pocket and then wrapped around. Maybe you could thread your lanyard hole, your lanyard through the compliance device, your skull smasher, whatever you want to call that. It does look like it's hardened stainless steel. Real cool design on it. Fairly sharp. I did find that sometimes when I went to reach in my pocket, that kind of got me a little bit. It's not sharp enough to cut you or anything, but that's certainly sharp enough to do some damage if you had to on somebody's skull or whatever you needed to do, right? It does, the button rattles a little bit. See, it's got some play in there, up and down. Of course it's going to have to, it's a moving part. The actual blade itself does not shake inside, so if I steady this button, there's no rattle in this knife. That's why I say I feel like it's made pretty well. It fires extremely hard and makes the coolest mechanical sound. It's fun. It's really fun. And it fires so hard it almost feels like it wants to jump forward a little bit and then jump backwards like thunk. And it's just very fast, very mechanical. I wanted to show you a couple things with this blade open. We talk about fit and finish. So I'm very nutty, and I think most of you guys appreciate it. That's why you tune in. But I just wanted to point this out. See where this fuller comes up, or blood groove, or whatever you want to call it. I think it looks awesome in this dagger blade. But check out how it almost comes up to the grind here. And then over here, if I can catch this on video, you can see that flat portion there? So it's like that fuller is not, you can see it more near the tip. See how there's more flat here than over here? Does that make sense? Can you see it? And then it's the same problem on this side. So yeah, a little nutty. You know, at $230, can you expect everything to be perfect down to the way the fuller hits the center flats on the blade? I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm happy with it. I would never send this back to Microtech saying I got a defect. You know, but it is something to note. Maybe they could line that up a little better, if possible. You know, I don't know. Right there's your markings on there. You can see this blade is L-Max. They've used a lot of different steels over the years. And L-Max has kind of got a bad rep from some poorly heat-treated, very early ZTs, you know. But L-Max is a great steel. I'm not going to go EDC this knife and break down boxes and all that. I will carry it around the house, possibly out sometimes, allegedly. You know, and just use it like a novelty, like a toy. You see I sharpened it. It's very wedgy. I don't think it'd make a great cutter if you wanted to anyways. See, fairly thick blade, and it comes right here for the grind. So it's not a great cutter if you're cutting EDC stuff. Very sharp needle-like point. I know it's not focusing. Anyways, that's the Microtech Ultratech. Very fun novelty knife. I see myself only owning this one, you know, and still not even being super attached to it or anything. It's just a fun toy to have around. If you're interested in something like this, you can certainly find any configuration that you might really like, as far as orange, anodizing. We already went over that. The blade style. They also have this version with the plain edge on one side and serrated on one side. You know, I don't know if they're reliable or not. So I don't know if you're in the army or a soldier or whatever, you know, would it make a good defense knife? I don't know. I feel like gunk and stuff could get inside there and maybe make the knife not fire. And here's the one thing that I hadn't told you yet, and you might already know, but let's fire this into this wood here. It knocks it off track, and you have this blade here that's in there. Now it's super easy to get it on track. You just pull it back out, and right there it is. It's hooked up. Cool knife. Not for everybody, but very fun. That is the Microtech Ultratech in blue. If I didn't say, these go around $230 new, something like that. They're around 3.3 ounces, so it's very light if you are concerned with such things on a novelty type piece. And I don't mean to make it sound like it's not a good tool. They're just highly illegal. There's probably better knives for the purpose of EDC, probably better knives for the purpose of defense options, you know. I don't think it would do any one thing really well. I think it's a really cool piece of gadgetry. That's it, guys. Have a good day. See ya.